This is the news. Russell Brand has decided to out himself and get ahead of the story before Channel 4 and the Sunday Times make some big alleged allegations. And interestingly enough, he's done exactly what a conspiracy theory I read in Reddit several months ago said he would do. Now, just to clarify my views on Russell Brand before we get into the nitty gritty, he's obviously a very polarising figure, and I've changed my mind on him a few times myself. I remember him, he used to do my nutting, and then he won me over when my partner at the time insisted on us watching Big Brother's Little Brother, which is quite a terrible show. It was basically a roundup from a reality TV show called Big Brother, and I actually found him to be entertaining. And then I liked his stand-up specials at the time as well. I disliked his movies, but I was never the target audience for that kind of thing. And then I wasn't really sure what to make of, remember he was on Question Time when he was saying don't vote, and then at the last minute he backed Miliband, and I didn't really know what to make of that. But in general, I've always quite enjoyed Russell Brand's output, although I couldn't be 100% certain of anything he was saying, because he strikes me as a bit of a magician. I would find him annoying, but often very funny, and always articulate, with a big vocabulary delivered in an intelligent and energetic fashion. It reminds me of some of the top sellers at a call centre I used to work with. Great to have a pint with, but you've always got to take the storytelling aspect with a grain of salt. When it comes to the sort of conscious socialist politics chat, I've very rarely disagreed with him. I never said anything when people criticised his seemingly obvious lean to the right or his occasional clickbait conspiracy theories. And it's not so much anything he said that's right wing as such. I think people get it mixed up, but he was always talking about the right wing talking point, and then he would never really have an opinion. He would go, I'm just laying out the facts here, I'm just laying out the information, I'm not telling you my opinion, I'm just asking questions, that kind of thing. And it never really sat right with me. I love a conspiracy theory from time to time, a baseless conspiracy theory, absolutely fine. A lot of them are horseshit, but occasionally a lot of them turn out to be true. And the last few years we've seen a rise in very wacky views across the internet. It's people who normally go to work were browsing online looking for answers for the first time in their life, and they found themselves at the exact same point I was at when I was unemployed, about 21, 22, smoking way too much and doing my own research before it was cool. Now, we can't censor people who go against the mainstream narrative, because the mainstream narrative, as George Carlin once said, is literally exploding with bullshit. So we can acknowledge that the mainstream is full of shit, but that doesn't mean that we can just believe everything that isn't in the mainstream narrative. I think that you can watch both and make your own mind up, if you know what I mean. Like I said, I didn't go against him for talking about things that may or may not be true, trying to figure out what was going on. It was a strange time for everyone. Everyone was trying to figure out what was going on. But I did start seeing some flashes of hypocrisy appearing on his YouTube channel, when his YouTube videos would often have very clickbait and fear-mongering headlines. Just really fear-mongering stuff to get you to click it. And then when you click it, he would discuss how the media want us to be scared, and they sell clicks, they sell newspapers. And it's hard not to recognise that he was doing exactly the same thing. And it put me off him a little bit. And, when he's making a festival called Community, and he's starting every show with, hello, my 1 million awakening wonders, seeming like he was very concerned with the numbers, and it was almost like he was making out that his viewers were smarter than everyone else on the internet, And it just started to appear very cult-like, which is not surprising because, I mean, I'm sure by his own admission, he's a narcissist, he's got a Jesus-sized ego, Jesus complex, whatever you want to call it. But it did start to feel like there was something else going on. I mean, why is he talking about right-wing talking points when he's pretty much made his career saying left-wing things? And like I said, I do enjoy a baseless conspiracy theory from time to time. And then I read an absolute belter, I think it was about December time, on Reddit. You know, his channel did have baseless conspiracy theories, but I just want to point out that some of the stuff he talked about was proven to be true. So it's not like everything he said was bullshit, but mostly it was cherry picking data or taking some random doctor who'd lost their license's word for it. But some of the stuff he said was true. I mean, this is really important. There's this thing right now where people saying everything Russell Brand said is full of shit, and everything the mainstream says is correct. And then other people are saying everything the mainstream says is wrong, and everything Russell Brand says is correct. Now that's just nonsense. You can't both make mistakes very, very often. Everyone makes mistakes very often. Some people make deliberate mistakes, and that's what I'm trying to get to the point here. Is that last December I saw one about Russell Brand. Now, before I get the interesting bit, it was about how he took right-wing billionaire Peter Thiel's money to join Rumble and broadcast from there. And when he talks about following the money and the billionaires, he never touches Peter Thiel or Rumble with a barge pole or anything that's involved in that side of things. He never ever speaks on that, which is just a bit curious. But by far the most interesting aspect about this completely unsourced random thing on the internet I read was he was about to be outed as an alleged, and the reason he was doing what he was doing by rallying against the mainstream was so that when the news broke, he could blame it on the powers that be trying to shut him up for getting too close to the truth. And tonight, Russell Brand did exactly what this conspiracy theory on Reddit said he would, verbatim. He refuted the allegations and said it was a conspiracy to his millions of followers who he's been saying for the last couple of years, you can't believe anything you read or hear in the mainstream media. I am the news, I am the truth. Which is kind of, you know, we've been kind of sort of taking the piss out of that with or this is the news segments. Now, I never shared this theory online because it was a completely baseless thing, and I've learned that it's best to have facts to back up your opinions. And also, I've just stopped arguing with people on the internet. I don't think it's a very healthy thing to do, so I try not to put things out that's going to piss people off, because I don't want to lose friends over talking about things that I've especially when there's nothing to it. There was no evidence to this Reddit theory. It was just a thing that I read on the internet. But I did discuss it with friends face to face, some who are fans of Russell Brand. Some of them actually went to his community festival, and some people who just absolutely hated him. Now, I've seen no evidence at all to suggest he's done anything wrong yet, so I'll be keeping an open mind. I mean, it's true that this would be a very, he's an intelligent guy, and this seems like this would be a very intelligent way of burying any claims made against him. He could do what he wants right now. There's nothing that you could say against Russell Brand that his fans would not. If he denied it, the fans would just say, this is people trying to take him down. So that's quite a powerful place to be in, where millions of people will believe everything you say in spite of what the media say, in spite of what the evidence says. And just watching it, is the video, he's got lots of hand waving and intense eye contact. I've heard some people saying that it feels like he's trying to hypnotise his audience. I don't know if that's true. It looks a little scared to me as well. So it could be a guy telling the truth, or it could be an excellent salesman. And it's also true that the media do like to destroy people who get a bit too big for their boots. But his followers must be used to seeing conspiracy theories becoming conspiracy facts by now. So will any of them question what is happening? How many will analyse the evidence, and how many will blindly back their chosen leader? I'm saying right now, the people who love him are going to say he's innocent, without seeing any evidence. And even once the evidence comes out, if there is any evidence, they will still say he's innocent. And the people that hate Brand will say he's guilty without seeing any evidence. And even if the evidence comes out and it's flimsy at best, they just don't like him, so they're going to say he's guilty. So I just say, I think it's best to keep an open mind until we have seen some actual evidence. But this is the news. This is the truth. Don't listen to anyone else but this channel. Does that sound familiar?
That's mad, that's mad. Is this a Netflix thing?
It's actually a podcast.
What the fuck's a podcast?
You know, it's kind of like a radio show.
Oh, that! Radio!
Yeah, exactly.
And is there a way we can do something like that?